Before Disney, before Universal, it was a place of wonder, movies and television. One of Florida's first true attractions. Today we visit Silver Springs, famous for its crystal clear waters and historic glass bottom boat tours. So our time in St. Augustine has come to an end and we've thoroughly enjoyed ourselves. But now we're heading across the other side of the state and we're on our way towards Homosassa. But en route, the plan is that we're going to pop in to Silver Springs. We sort of think we've been here before, but can't really remember it. So let's see what it's like.
Where are we going now, Steve?
We're en route to Silver Springs, which is about an hour and 3/4 away from St. Augustine, and we're going there to just see. It's a state wildlife park, if I remember rightly.
Haven't we just been to St. Augustine?
Yeah.
Oh, what did you say?
Having left St. Augustine.
Oh, and there's a... I don't listen to what he's saying, you see.
Yeah.
Sorry,
It's the story of my life.
I sound really wheezy. I am. I've got the most awful sore throat, cold, cough, the whole works, and shivery. 1 minute, hot the next, the whole works. But these things happen sometimes when you're on holiday, don't they?
Yes, they do.
I'm sure you catch things on planes and stuff. But anyway.
Anyway.
This is
So the idea of going to Silver Springs is just to take in the wildlife.
And they have
and
glass
the
bottom
area.
boats.
And we're on our way after that to Inverness, where we're staying for 2 nights and hoping to go to the Homosassa State Wildlife Park or the Wiki Wacky Springs,
But the home of the mermaids.
the home of the mermaids.
I like the Homosassa State Wildlife Park better.
Yeah,
we used to stay in Homosassa a lot, and that was such a lovely thing to do.
It's a lovely park. Loads of manatees there. It's just a really nice place, but there was some warnings on the website about damage. I was going to have a look when we got a bit nearer before we decided where we were going to go as to what the current state is.
Okay. On the road again, gonna sing a song. On the road again. I don't know any more words.
No.
You're not gonna put this on the film, though, are you?
No.
No.
Maybe.
No. With her croaky voice and cough sweet in her mouth.
Turn right, then you will arrive at your destination.
What Google meant to say was turn left. Anyway, went to the next junction and turned round and then made it back to Silver Springs. Silver Springs is renowned for its crystal clear waters and is part of the larger Silver Springs State Park, which preserves the spring head with its surrounding ecosystem. The park offers scenic trails, kayaking opportunities and abundant wildlife, making it a favourite destination for both nature enthusiasts and photographers. While visitors have been coming to Silver Springs since the 1830s, it became especially famous in the 1870s with the invention of the glass-bottomed boat. A local entrepreneur placed a pane of glass in the bottom of a rowboat, allowing guests to view the underwater world. A simple yet innovative idea that revolutionised tourism at the Springs. By the 1890s, these boat tours were fully established and played a key role in making Silver Springs one of Florida's earliest and most iconic tourist attractions. It is lunchtime, so we decide to get something to eat before our tour. There are two options: Springside Cafe, which offers a more extensive menu, and one we chose to eat at, Paradise Treats. That served ice cream, milkshakes and fresh pizza, and we shared fresh pizza which came after a short wait. It was lovely. Seeing our captain striding over towards the boats, and given it was nearing time to assemble for our tour, we decided we needed to get a move on over to the boat deck. Entry to the state park is only $2, with the glass-bottom boat tours being an additional cost. A 30-minute tour will cost $15 per adult, or an extended 1.5 hour tour will cost $30 per adult. Whilst you can purchase a tour in advance, we haven't, and on this day only the shorter tours were available, so that's what we've gone with. We have always found state wildlife parks to be incredibly good value for money, and they've always been one of our favourite pastimes when in Florida.
Welcome aboard, everybody. Please take your time and watch your step getting on the boat. Last thing is, if anybody starts having a medical emergency, starts feeling sick or impaired, please let me know immediately. I do got a radio on the boat. We can have an EMT waiting for us. And if I have a medical emergency, who can I trust to push this button right here?
Oh, yeah.
Anybody? One hand. Thank you, sir. The right answer would have been all of us. Okay? Yeah. Special effects or magnification. How this all got started was back in the 1870s. A couple young boys decided they were going to cut a hole in the bottom of the rowboat, put a piece of glass in it, and start paddling people up and down this river for a nickel ride. Another fish we got in here that doesn't belong is called the tilapia. Does anybody know where tilapia come from? There's a place in the world called Publix. And this first spring that we get to is called the Spring of Stars. It's 26 feet deep to the bottom of this spring. You can see a little bit of sand moving around down there. I got somewhere you're going to visually be able to see what's happening a little better, but yeah, they call that the vent of the spring. 35 feet down. One breath. Who could do it? Now, there was another movie filmed here that you guys might remember.
Yeah.
The name of that movie was Return of the Creature from the Block Again. Part 2, also filmed here. You guys are supposed to laugh at that one. That's how the Silver River got its name, was when the Spaniards first got here. They saw that glimmer down there and thought it was silver, named the river appropriately. There's a gator right there. Now, fun fact about that alligator is that it is a statue. No, just kidding, it's real. There are a couple different species of birds up there in those trees. It's nesting season for them right now up there. Keep an eye on those because you might see one come up with a fish stuck on its beak. Yep, there's one right there. See him dive down? And we classify them not for their size, but for the volume of water that they put out every day. Coming into view here is going to be a formation down there. It looks very similar to the backbone of a dinosaur. And we did have some scientists come out and they were very interested in this formation, so they came out and they ran all kinds of testing on it. You guys are probably going to be just as amazed at the results that I was, is that it is in fact a rock. This next spring I'm going to bring you into is a magnitude 1. It'll produce as much as 160 million gallons every day. It bounces off the bottom, reflects off the bottom off that shell and the limestone. It refracts back to us as a prism, and we see that as the color turquoise, similar to how a rainbow is formed. Make room, buddy. Seat's taken. You know what we call it when there's a bunch of turtles in one area like that? We call it a shell station. I'm going to take you into my favorite spring. This has been my favorite ever since I was a kid. But as we cross this river here, I want everybody to take notice of this current. All right? Once we get into the river, you're going to want to watch this boat down the river. And there's always a lot going on in here. On and beneath that cypress tree, there's a boat laying down there on the bottom. Now, when I was a kid, they used to tell us that was a Spanish rowboat, that they weren't able to tell how old it was or where it came from. It was this big mystery. 1940 or so, just to add some character to the spring. And the spring opening is not very big, and I will point it out to everybody. It's only about the size of a manhole cover, and it'll be coming into view here in the mid section, the mid piece of glass there. And it will be down there for another 500 years because cypress doesn't rot underwater. It's got a chemical in it called cypressine, prevents it from rotting. So what do you think, folks? Do you like my favorite spring or what? Yeah. Cool in here, huh?
So what is the boat?
It is. Right there.
And they throw stuff at you that isn't so nice. So the Reese's macaque monkeys, I call it Reese's Pieces, but I promise it's not chocolate that they're throwing at you, folks. The fence line in front of us, there used to be a swimming beach over there. This palm tree that's laying in the water to our right, that used to be called the Lucky Palm. And that was a pretty iconic image here at Silver Springs. That used to corkscrew out and up and over and made a circle. And I'd like to welcome everybody to the Mammoth Spring.
Wow.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
You guys remember whenever I told you to take a mental note on that current running down the river? Well, if you look around, this river doesn't go any farther, so all that water that's rushing down these rivers is all coming out of these springs. Isn't that incredible? One of the episodes of I Spy was called The Seventh Captain. They had thought they'd found the lost city of Atlantis. They filmed that right over here, and they left a couple movie props down here for me to show you guys. Now those statues, they're 30 feet of water, they stand 7 feet tall, and they will be down there for a very long time because they are made out of an ancient building material called fiberglass. Thanks very much, everybody. We appreciate you guys. Thank you. Now once that gangway starts coming down, watch your step on that thing. It can be a tripping hazard, and it will turn into a human-sized cheese.
So Joanne's decided to rest in the shade, and I've decided to go out and explore. Downstream is home to a large number of rhesus monkeys, and they came about as a certain colonel bought 6 to attract tourists to the area and put them on an island, and when they then disappeared he bought another 6 and they disappeared, and he bought another 6 and this went on. He didn't realise that they could swim. Nice set of pavilions to give you some shelter from the sun, with a lovely view over those crystal clear waters as well. Really nice. This plaque remembers Paradise Park, a mile further downstream from the head of the spring. It was co-owned by the same owner as Silver Springs. For around 40 years it offered a similar experience, with glass-bottom boats and nature trails. It was one of 3 locations in the state of Florida for African Americans during segregation. Desegregation brought about its closure in 1969. These days it has been swallowed up by the undergrowth. So this park is nearly 5,000 acres, and there's a number of trails, including a couple of fairly short ones, so I think I'll try those. In the mid-20th century, it was a filming location for a number of movies, over 250 movies and TV shows, such as Tarzan, Creatures from the Black Lagoon and Sea Hunt. Well, that's a really nice barbecue area there, isn't it? Keeps you under the shade as well as having lots of barbecue patches. Then my walk came to a little bit of an abrupt stop. Trail closed. But I remembered that I could take a slightly different route further up. And another part of the trail closed. Doesn't look as if I'm in luck following these trails today. So the idea was to follow the trails, but it looks like all directions are closed at the moment, so I'm just going to have to make it back the way that I've come and see what I can find a bit further on. So I've been trying to do the half-mile creek trail, which is actually 3/4 of a mile long. Figure that one out. And just round the corner from the barbecue area, there's a set of restrooms with water fountains and soda fountains. So you've got to pay for the soda, but the water's free. We're in the Bear Hill area. With a name like that, I'm keeping my eyes wide open. And this is the wildlife garden area with some seating areas. There also looks as if there's an old paddle boat for shelter as well. To one side there was a fairly ornate building, so I thought I'd go up and investigate. It's not clear quite what this place is. It looks as if it may be for holding corporate conferences or maybe a wedding reception. It is very grand and it has a lovely look out over, I think it's the Wild Garden. Really nice look. Turn the camera around now and let you see. So I had thought that this was a sheltered area. It's obviously repurposed from one of the old paddle boats. It looks as if it's probably some form of snack bar. And adjoining it you've got some tables and seats to enjoy whatever snack they sell. So what you have here is a place of natural scientific interest, which is being maintained very much in sympathy for the way that nature intended, in also trying to preserve and enhance the nature that was original to the area. It's a nice experience. It gives you a nice walk. It doesn't have loads of sensory activities. It is just a quiet walk and very enjoyable. There's a couple of places where you can eat here. This particular store had a really nice pizza, very enjoyable. There's also a cafe next door, which is the Springside Cafe, which sells burgers and hot dogs. And then you've got further up the Discovery Centre and a gift shop. Gift shop is roomy and offers a wide selection of branded souvenirs, t-shirts, hats, stickers, magnets, postcards, etc., all capturing the park's nostalgic old Florida charm. So, having not had much success with the first trail, I decided to check out a second. So this is the Ross Allen Island Boardwalk, and we're going to see what's here. This is a gentle 3/4 of a mile loop. It's mainly flat and accessible, and it's ideal for walking, birdwatching and photography. It can also be used by wheelchairs and strollers. Visitors frequently spot birds, fish and manatees. Benches and pavilions offer scenic rests along the way. The boardwalk skirts side waters of the Silver River, offering unhindered views of the waters below and the kayaks and boats that use them. So it looks as if they're in the process of extending this boardwalk. This one's going up a bit. Lovely smell round here. And the smell was freshly sawn pine. Absolutely gorgeous. Another nice shelter. It wasn't crowded, and for most of the walk, all I could hear was the sounds of nature. So the walk seems to go round in one gigantic big circle. It was a very nice amphitheatre as we went round, but yeah, very nice because you get to see the sort of more natural Florida, which is something that I always enjoy. I just think of the number of people that come to Florida and never ever experience the natural parts of Florida, which I think is a pity. But this was a really nice walk, very pleasant. Once one of Florida's original beloved tourist attractions, today it struggles to hold its own against the likes of Disney and Universal, a sign of how many now favour manufactured excitement over the quiet magic of a real living spring. Still, Silver Springs retains its timeless natural charm, offering excellent value, no crowds, and an educational, enriching experience that's well worth a half-a-day visit.
In a quarter of a mile, turn left onto Florida 40 West, East Silver Springs Boulevard.
I don't know any jokes. I mean, we're just going through downtown wherever we are on our way to Inverness. About 31 miles to go. Arrival at 6 minutes past 5, and it's 4:15 at the moment. Of course, it'll be rush hour now. But anyway, that's what we're doing. And he keeps moaning at me. Right.
Says Joanne.
Says Joanne. He's moaning at me and I'm not very well today. And he keeps on and on and on and on and on. It's alright, he'll wipe this out. You won't ever get to hear it.
This is our hotel for the next 2 nights. It has all we basically need, and it includes free Wi-Fi and breakfast. It's around 12 miles out from Homosassa Springs, which is where we're planning to go tomorrow, and whilst it's not the most convenient, there isn't much choice nearby. We dump our stuff in the room and immediately seek out the nearest restaurant.
Hello everybody, today we're at the Holiday Inn Express Inverness, but Inverness, Florida. I'm going to do a room review. I might start coughing in a minute, I've had a terrible cough. I've had everything this holiday actually, we've only been here a week. Anyway, I'll turn you round. And a nice full length mirror there. Nice big one. And I'll do the bathroom in a minute, but over here you've got a little microwave oven and coffee making facilities, although Steve couldn't get it working this morning, but anyway. A fridge. I'm going to cough in a minute. 2 big beds, lovely, lovely. And then on the wall we've got the instrument for doing the aircon. And over here is a wardrobe, and there's a safe at the bottom. But you're going to pick a laptop in there?
I think you can, yes.
Oh, okay. So, and then there's an iron. There. So that's good. Thing to put your baggage on. And some hooks. Television. Lots of sockets. There. USB-C?
USB-A.
Oh, they're USB-C. USB-A. I don't know what the difference is. And over here we have USB-C.
No, USB-A again.
USB-A head. But we could not get these to work, so you know, maybe there's just a fault on that, I don't know. And then some drawers, and a desk with a chair. There's lots of different lamps and stuff, and a chair there. We've got 2 air conditioning units, and to be honest, this one especially in the corner is very, very loud, and I switched it off at night because it was just too loud. You can probably hear it. Nice view. What road are we on here, Steve? The 90?
It's the US 41.
Was it?
The 41 and 98.
Either the 98 or the 41, which will take us down south towards Port Charlotte, which is where we're going today. But we're going to stop off and do a bit of shopping along the way. There's Steve, and we'll take you along. I'm going to stop you now, and then I'm going to do the bathroom. And here's the bathroom. Very nice bathroom. You know, got everything you want. Very clean. Dove hand wash and body lotion. Oh, sorry about the strobing. That's a bit bad. It's the light. That's gone off a bit now. Toilet. Shower. There we go. And then you've got all your shampoo, conditioner and body wash over there. So it's very simple, very clean. Oh, hairdryer under there. I used that this morning. Yeah, so we forgot to do this room review when we first got in the room, so hence doing it now. I've been in the wars. We've been here a week, and I'm just turning you around to be a bit more friendly. We've been here a week, and I've got worse and worse and worse. Cold, cough. Yeah, then I got an eye infection, hence no makeup. It's just been one thing after another, but hopefully I'm on the mend now and can enjoy the rest of the holiday.